Hi. I was trying to come up with another idea for a video, and I managed to come across a article today about Jeff Bezos and how he um, had his phone hacked. Um, I Yes, pardon me. I'm looking for it on my Facebook page because I wrote it. Um, Okay, now, sorry for the bumping of the video camera. It says here, this is what I wrote on my Facebook page. Have you ever read a headline and asked yourself if it made any sense? Does what I just read make any sense at all? This is a new headline and short story for you about Jeff Bezos and his phone getting hacked. Getting hacked. Um, as I read the story, I thought to myself, what would the Saudis get from hacking Jeff Bezos' phone? What benefit could be possible? What benefit could they possibly get? Well, when I thought about it, and the more I started to try and make sense of the story, the more it appeared to not make any sense at all. It started sounding like a made up story. Yes, Jeff's phone was hacked, but I think it was self hacked so they could put the blame on the Saudis. I guess our government wants to go to war against them really badly. We need an enemy to go after so we can justify all of the spending we are doing to feed the huge war machine. That's what I wrote. Now, this is the headlines. It screamed out plot twist. Jeff Bezos' affair leak may have been Saudi government attack. It's a surreal geological development that can be described as incredibly 2019. Jeff Bezos' security advisor has determined that the parties responsible for hacking the Amazon CEO's private messages and releasing evidence of his marital infidelity to the National Enquirer was, wait for it, wait for it, the government of Saudi Arabia. Sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, doesn't it? Gavin D. Becker, who Bezos hired to investigate the phone hack that led to the public reveal of his affair with Lauren Sanchez, came to the conclusion that the Saudi government had targeted Bezos as retaliation for the Washington Post's coverage of the brutal murder of its journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, who was killed in a Saudi consulate in October of 2018. Intrigue. Yeah, let's get James Bond onto it. Bezos bought the Post for $250 million in early 2013. DeBecker wrote his findings in an article for the Daily Beast, alleging that the Saudi government had been spying on his boss for months. Some Americans will be surprised to learn that the Saudi government had been intent on harming Jeff Bezos since last October. Oh, yeah, okay. It's possible. It is very possible. But let's face it, they're not going to wait that long. They're just going to do it. And I know this because I pay attention to real things that happen in the news. Some Americans will be surprised, okay, when the Post began its relentless coverage of the Khashoggi murders, DeBecker wrote. He outlined further cyber attacks on Bezos, the Post, and himself. This reminds me, remember a few years back when Sony made a movie called The Interview? It had James Franco and it had Oh shoot, I can't think of the other actor's name right offhand, but I know James Franco was in it. And the reason I can't think of the other actor is because he's kind of a throwaway. He screwed up the Green Hornet, turned a good idea into a stupid comedy. But anyway, they did this movie called The Interview, and it was supposed to be about these two guys that went over to North Korea to interview Kim Jong Un. Well, they were afraid that the movie was going to be crap. They brought it out around Christmas time. So what did they do? This is what Sony did. Now I cannot prove this. I cannot back it up, but I'm going to say it anyway. I believe in order to keep the movie from being in order to keep the movie from tanking at the theater, at least getting back the money that they paid into it, I believe that Sony hacked their own systems. I believe that Sony put a copy of it out onto the internet with Korean subtitles at the bottom so they could say that the North Koreans had did this. Because let's face it, the North Koreans are going to want to take responsibility for it, right? Yeah, you're going to do it anonymously, but you're also going to leave a tag on it to say, yeah, we did it. And then it would get people that normally would not go to the theater to watch this movie intrigued about the movie. So they would go to see what all the fuss was about at the theater, and it would break even. Sony did that. Now, it didn't last very long in the news. The North Korean hack. If North Korea actually hacked a major company like Sony, which Sony is owned by the Chinese, by the way. Sony is a Chinese company, I believe. Sony is Chinese. So if Sony was hacked by the North Koreans, that would create a lot of trouble between North Korea and China. But everybody knows that's got a brain in their head. Everybody knows that Sony hacked themselves to make it look like the North Koreans had hacked them, put out the movie because they wanted to tank the movie at the theater. They were hoping if everybody saw it online, they wouldn't want to go to the theater and see it. It all backfired. But anyway, going back to Jeff Bezos, I believe that he hacked himself, or he had people hack himself. And his affair. I believe that his wife knew about the affair. I believe that it was leaked. I believe that they wanted a reason to go after the people that killed Nasagi. Now, personally, I don't know if he's dead or not. I don't know if they actually killed him or if they made it look like he was killed because they were putting him in witness protection. I don't know for sure. Nobody really knows for sure. We just know what the news tells us, and we hope that the news is not going to lie to us. We hope that when the news tells us that a plane slammed into the Twin Towers, that it was actually a plane and that it actually slammed into the Twin Towers because two of my good friends died on that plane crash. Lynn and David Angel. Anyway, back to Jeff Bezos. They're going to go after the Washington Post because they say that Jeff Bezos was relentless, and they're going to try to get back at him. If you think about the story, does that sound like something that another country would do? Have you ever known of another country to actually do that? Now, Americans would do that. That's just something stupid that Americans do. I don't know why, we just do. We deal with special dates, and we do tributes to things, and we get into all that stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of do this quick video because I thought it was relevant because Jeff Bezos and Amazon is in Seattle, and I'm trying to do all things Seattle right now because I love Seattle. So this has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, and everybody around the world. See you tomorrow.